Welcome to another edition of A.S.G. Let's Talk TV, a critical production. I am your host, the one and only Auntie Smell Goods. Man, the show I have for you today really touched my heart. It touched me to the core of my heart. It's the story of three little boys, three little brothers that was heinously gunned down by their mother's boyfriend, with only one child surviving. Without further ado, I am going to bring you the video.
Multiple times before dying Friday evening at Toledo Hospital. That's the latest from the Lucas County coroner tonight. Meanwhile, a third boy who was shot continues to fight for his life. We've got team coverage tonight to bring you up to speed. Michael Tater, downtown tonight, where the suspect in this shooting is in custody. But first, let's get out to our Zainab Shaib, live from the Burnport Apartments, where all of this went down 24 hours ago. Zainab, what are you learning tonight?
Well, Tyler, you got that right. I'm in the very spot where all the shooting happened in Burnport Apartments. Now, I wanted to show you the scene behind me. It's much quieter than it was last night during the shooting, but you can see some of the neighbors came to the apartment complex, dropping off balloons and stuffed animals, kind of setting up a memorial site for the boys' honor. At around 5 p.m. last night, the police arrived on scene at Burnport Drive. There, they found 3 children inside the apartment. All were suffering from at least one gunshot wound and taken to Toledo Hospital. Amir Phillips, 5 years old, and Gabriel Phillips, who is just 1 year old, both died at the hospital. The Lucas County Coroner's Office autopsy says the official cause of death was from multiple gunshot wounds. Ashton Phillips, who is 4 years old, was first taken to Toledo Hospital but transferred to the University of Michigan's Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor and is currently in critical condition, according to Toledo police. The uncle of the 3 boys says that Ashton underwent surgery this morning, and doctors told him that Ashton is still not talking yet but can hear and is moving his legs right now. Doctors and family believe that he's going to pull through. One of the neighbors that lives across the street from the shooting arrived at the apartment complex as soon as the boys were taken to the hospital. He says this whole situation is absolutely devastating.
I seen that and wondering what was going on, and they were like, just three babies just got shot. I'm like, my heart instantly dropped, started crying. It's like, cause it's hard. Cause what if it's anybody else's babies, not just his? I feel very very sorry for that mom. You know what I'm saying, and that father, especially that father. But to think, what if it could have been yours? What if it could have been mine?
All right, just so we have the correct, just say your first and your last name and spell it out for me.
Jacob Phillips,
JAQUAILPHILLIPS.
Okay, and your relationship to the kids?
The father.
First, I just want to say, from everyone on our channel, we are our deepest condolences to your family. I know this is hard to put into words, but just what are you feeling right now?
This loss. Just miss my boys.
Tell me about yesterday. How the day started and how you found out about the news. What was going through your mind?
I was at my grandma's house because she just passed from COVID on January 15th. And my girlfriend called me and told me that my son had been shot to get to his mom's house. So when I got out there, officers told me that all three of my boys were shot, and told me they're all at the hospital. And that's pretty much all they told me there. I went to the hospital, and they had police, like 4 or 5 police officers surrounded me, and they really didn't tell me anything for 45 minutes to an hour. And then finally the detective came out and said, I can go back. So he took me to a room and talked to me. And then he told me that Gabriel and Amir didn't make it, and that Ashton is being worked on. So,
It's a good time.
yeah, she said that I could go back there and see him. So I went back there and I kissed their hands and I kissed their foreheads. And then they escorted me out the building and took me to home. And detective gave me his number and told me that if I need anything or if I needed anybody to talk to call him. But only officers that really was any of the helpers, the detectives. They was like the only people that are actually talking to me and giving me answers. Everybody else is just there, just ignore my questions and everything. So,
What's the latest on Ashton right now?
he is in a medically induced coma right now, and they had to remove the left part of his skull to reduce the swelling in his brain. And he has internal bleeding right now, but he's stable for right now.
Any prognosis, or it's too early to tell?
It's too early to tell right now. They said the bullet came out of his jaw and shattered his jaw and dislocated it. So, man, they can't put it back together until the swelling from the bullet going in to go away.
Okay. Let's go on a more positive note. Talk to me about your Dre sons. Tell me about them.
Amir, he just loves everything. Amir, he's just sports, trophies. He loves fixing stuff, everything, anything to do. He was always with his grandma and his uncle. His uncle did roofing and construction and cars, so he had all the tools over there to fix and play with, and helmets and everything. And Ashton, he just loved music, balls, and sports. Loved being a boy. And Gabriel, he was just one. Just learning how to walk. I was just holding him as a baby. He just.
Now, I'm only going to ask you about this because you posted it on Facebook. You had said that you had wanted the kids in your custody. Without going into too many details, tell me what the kids meant to you and in the lightest details what the situation was with the mother. I don't want to play a blame game or anything like that, but what are your feelings at the suspect?
Let me stop right here for a minute and read this to you. This is coming from Julie, Crystal's mother. You have blocked me because you don't want people to know the truth about you. Your wife and kids would have been safe with you if you had not beat your wife and kids and slept with her sister and had 2 children with her while you were married and living with Crystal. So don't put all the blame on Crystal. She had to live there because she had to do it all by herself. Yes, this shit here is a hot mess. No, I'm not saying that his kids deserved what happened because those were innocent babies. What I'm saying is if he was a whole man and took care of his responsibilities, I'm going to read it again. Your wife and kids would have been safe with you if you had not beat your wife and kids and slept with her sister and had 2 children with her while you were still married and living with Crystal, his own wife's sister. So now their children are cousins and brothers and sisters. So how, yes, are siblings and cousins. This some hot mess right here. This some Jerry Springer talk show shit.
In custody, the person that you believe is responsible for this. Does that give you any type of closure that
No.
that person is
It doesn't give me
right now?
no closure that he's behind bars because he get.
So don't put all the blame on Crystal. She had to live there because she had to do it all on her own. You didn't help her with shit. You wouldn't even buy your kids diapers. I, her mother, had to do it. That is why Amir's short little life, he spent all his time with me, his grandmother. The only reason Amir was there was because I was moving your grandmother's stuff that recently passed. So basically, what the kid's grandmother is saying, he didn't do shit for his kids. He wasn't around. Now you have this 1-year-old baby and 2 other children with this lady who got a whole new man in the picture, and you are nowhere around to make sure your children are safe.
He can get life, but he's still living. He's still doing everything he can do. He be behind bars. He's not out here, but my kids will never be able to grow up. Never see my kids again. I've never hold my kids. Never.
And there is an active CPO order, which in Toledo, Ohio stands for it's like a restraining order, what we'll call, but it's a protective order, but we call them a simple protective order.
Nothing. So he's just, all they're gonna do is be like, hey, you got life.
And this right here is just some more. I did the research. I went on this young man's Facebook page and got a lot of this information. His Instagram, he closed it. I guess the pressure was too hard for people hitting his page that knows him, that knows he don't do shit for his children. Somebody said, so this justifies the boyfriend shooting them. No. And Rhonda replied, no, ma'am, it doesn't. But it tells what kind of man he really is and saying he would get his children if she can't take care of them. It's always two sides to a story. I don't feel this mother is lying. Then it says, Jessica Clapsadell said, you haven't even seen your children in 7 months. Last time you seen them was at Amir's birthday. And Kevin to Jessica, how do you know? And this is Jessica responded, because the grandmother is sitting right next to me. I personally know the family. Her grandson was with her every day. My children played with her grandson. Kevin, oh, wow. Then he replies, yeah, very sad. And of course, Mia is going to respond, at this point in time, who the fuck care? There are babies fighting for his life in a hospital. That should be everyone's main focus. Stop trying to point finger at each other and come together and love and hold one another. You should be embracing each other instead airing out your laundry on Facebook. That's no one gives a fuck about. See, yeah, people should give a fuck about that because this man, yeah, he misses his kids. His kids, two of his kids was murdered, and the other one is fighting for his life. But don't sit on the news and try to bash your baby mother or on Facebook talking about, I told her she couldn't take care of the kids to give them to me. When you have a CPO order for beating your kids and beating your baby mother. Not to mention, you had an affair with her sister and had kids by her sister. And now her sister kids and her kids are siblings and cousins. But then you're going to stand on and talk to the news reporter and get on Facebook with the post about you asked your Crystal she couldn't take care of the kids to give them to you. And now her boyfriend murdered them. That's not her damn fault. She was helping unload a U-Haul for your grandmother's belongings. Come on with that. So you opened up the door. This young man opened up the door for people to hit his page. And this is from the mother. I just want to take this time to speak out to the community and thank you all for all of the prayers. It's very much appreciated. My babies did not deserve this in any way, shape, or form. And to clear up the air and rumors, I was not here. I was not there at the time of the shooting. I was helping my mom unload a U-Haul. Came home an hour later and was helping her unload a couple items from the U-Haul. And my daughter came up to me and said, Mommy, he made Dookie Booger's nose bleed. I dropped, meaning she dropped everything to see what was going on with her kids. Man, I must say, when I heard about this case, and I just heard about this case the other day, it really, really, really touched me because these are innocent babies. And I tried to research Mr. Kevin Moore. I can't find nothing on him on no social media platforms. But I'm going to say this. He's a pathetic, pathetic piece of shit. And I'm going to be honest. He deserved a death penalty. And I hope they give it to him. And if his state does not have the death penalty, I hope he never see the light of day. And it's sad but touching, but you got black advocates that don't believe no black people should be locked up. Well, in cases like this, his black ass should never see the light of day. He's a waste of taxpayers' money. He's a fucking bully. This is how I figured it. This is how I perceive why he did what he did. Probably out of jealousy. Because Crystal was helping her children's father's family. So he took it out on the innocent little kids instead of stepping to their father because he's a fucking coward. And this is what fucking cowards do. This whole case right here touched my soul. Yes, it did. No mother, no father should have to feel that kind of pain. And young man, I suggest you step up and be a whole man to your children. Being in your children's life. Buy your children pampers and necessities they need. Plus, it just behooves me that this young man got on the news and on social media and made the comment that I asked my baby mother, I asked Crystal if she couldn't take care of the kids to bring them to me, and her boyfriend just murdered my kids. That's like throwing the blame on her. And I'm going to say this again. If you were in their lives as their father instead of a sperm donor, then maybe she wouldn't have thought she needed that man. And it goes a little bit deeper. It's an active CPO order against you for beating her and your own children. And a woman that has been through domestic violence, in a lot of cases, their self-esteem goes low. They begin to believe that that's all that they're worth. And these are the type of young men, young women, whatever their sexual preference is, that they have a tendency to latch on to. Women, understand your worth. Understand that if a man or a woman, whatever your sexual preference is, beats you one time, they'll beat you again. Understand your worth. And sometimes when we come from one relationship, we need to sit back and sit to ourselves and get to know who we are. Man, my prayers go out to the family, to the surviving young man, little boy. I pray that he heals successfully in a timely manner. And it's going to take a village to heal this young boy internally. I pray that the father to this young boy will step up and be that whole man, because your son is going to need you more now than ever before. I pray to the parents of these young kids that y'all can work past the pain and be cordial to one another, so this young surviving victim may heal and grow up to prosper. And with that said, I would like to thank you again for another episode of A.S.G. Let's Talk TV, a critical production, true crimes from around the world. Once again, I am your host, Auntie Smellgoods. Be blessed by the best, and that's the one above. Until the next time, I'm out.